Hey, what's up? It's Symphony here. Subscribe to my brother Mr. Creepy as Hell channel, and when you're watching his videos, make sure you stay in one piece. Peace, peace, peace.
Whenever you get in a relationship, don't rush things so fast. Always look at red flags in the person you're thinking you're about to spend the rest of your life with. Because if you don't, you're going to end up messing up your whole entire life. And you're going to live a pretty miserable life with that person. My name is Dante. And this happened with me, my wife. I thought she was someone perfect and a really kind-hearted person. But that was just a mask from who she really was. And once I found out who she really was, my life turned upside down. And it was even harder for me as a man to divorce her because we had kids as well. And she wanted to take full custody of them to try to make me suffer and punish me for her actions. My wife's name was Gloria. I'm 40 now, but this happened 20 years ago. This was in 2004. I had just met Gloria for the first time, and we were going out on a date. She seemed like a very kind-hearted woman, and I really was into her. She was into me. That's what I thought. The date went well, and we started to hang out a lot more. 6 months later, that's when Gloria asked me when we were going to ever get married. And I didn't really want to rush it. I wanted to give her about a year just to make sure she was the one. But after about several more weeks, I figured that, you know what? There's nothing wrong with this woman, and I feel like she is the one. So that's when I proposed to her. I asked her for her hand in marriage, and she said yeah. We got married that following spring, and after that, we went on a honeymoon, then we started a family. But things took a turn for the worse. I'm talking about a 180 turn. Out of nowhere, as this was something that I never would have thought would happen. 5 years later, this was in 2009, I discovered that Gloria had an affair. This really crushed me because I was really good to her. I made her life so easy. I was there for her emotionally, physically. I cooked for her, cleaned for her, and I went to work just to make things easy for her. So the only thing she had to do at times was take care of the kids. I felt like my world was crashing. I just couldn't believe that she would do something like this to me. I remember confronting her, and I told her, Gloria, why would you do this to me? I loved you. I still love you. Why would you go out and have an affair? Like you couldn't talk to me if things were getting rough? Why do this to me? That's because I needed excitement in my life. I am so tired of always playing the housewife. While you're away at work, I have to take care of the kids. I have to do a whole bunch of things just so I can keep you and this family happy. I never wanted to be a mother. I never wanted to be a wife, she said. But that had me confused because she was the one that was pushing the idea about us getting married. And I let her know that as well. You're the one that said you wanted to be married. Now you change your mind? What's going on, Gloria? Nothing's going on. I'm just done. I'm walking out on the marriage. I don't want to do this anymore. I want a divorce. You can go ahead if you want and keep the kids with you. I'm not going to do this. I want to be free. 2 weeks later, after she walked out on me, she sent the divorce letters in the mail. And she even sadly gave up any rights to her kids. She didn't want to be a mother or a wife at all. After the divorce was finalized, I was really heartbroken. I just couldn't believe the woman who I was into and I thought she was into me just left and started a whole new life with another man. The kids, even though they were young at the time, they noticed that something was off. My 2 kids asked me where was their mother at, and the only thing I could tell them is that she's gone for now, but she'll be back eventually. I hate having to lie to my kids. I didn't want to tell them the truth because they couldn't handle that. They were only just 5 and 6 years old. I moved on with my life. I decided to work from home, and I tried to make life as normal as possible for my 2 daughters. That night, while I was tucking my 2 daughters into bed, one of my daughters pointed behind me and asked, "Daddy, who's that man?" I turned around and I saw a man wearing a hoodie and a mask covering up his face, and he pointed a gun at me. I put my hands up and I plead with the guy. "Hold on, look, don't do this. Look, my 2 daughters are right here. You're gonna scare them. Don't do this. Not in front of my daughters. But let's talk about this. If it's money that you want, I can give you that. Please don't do this. Don't do this." "Shut up. I'll do the talking." I did what the man told me to do, and then he walked up towards me, and I remember him knocking me out in the head with the gun super hard, and I blacked out. I don't remember what happened afterwards. I remember waking up several hours later. I got up, my head was throbbing, and it was around 4 o'clock in the morning. The lights were still on, but I noticed there was blood everywhere. I didn't want to believe it. I looked, and to my horror, my heart dropped. My 2 precious girls, who means everything to me, they were lifeless on a bed. They suffered 3 gunshot wounds to the chest. I remember I let out a really horrific yell. I tried to compose myself and I called 911. When I did, they got here and the police officer saw the girls' bodies. And I told the officers as I was crying that there were surveillance cameras that recorded everything the officers saw as the man broke in. And when he came upstairs, he knocked me out. That's what they heard, because I had cameras in the hallway. And then we heard the horrific sound of my 2 daughters screaming as the man shot them multiple times. Then in the video, it shows the man leaving my daughter's room and leaving out the door. After everything that happened, there was a serious manhunt for the man who killed my 2 daughters and assaulted me. And I would later come to find out what was behind this. When the man got arrested, I learned that that man was the same man that my wife left me for. But it gets even worse. Apparently, my wife was the one that orchestrated the idea for him to kill me and to kill my 2 daughters. Apparently, the man that my wife left me for was rich, but then recently he got into some financial trouble. That's when my ex-wife Gloria concocted a plan to try to kill me and my 2 daughters to get life insurance out of us. This really made me angry and left me heartbroken, because I was wondering how can a woman who birthed 2 beautiful girls want to have her own daughters get killed? It's bad enough she tried to have me killed, but the fact that she had my 2 precious babies killed really hurt me, and it put me in a depression that I will never come out of fully. After this, she was arrested, and the man who killed my 2 daughters was placed on death row, while Gloria, my ex-wife, was sentenced to 80 years in prison. I really hope she never sees the light of day again. Since that happened, I moved out of that place. I can't stay at that house anymore. It just had way too much memories for me. And it really had me thinking, did I ignore the warning signs that Gloria was like this? Was there any warning signs? If I hadn't known, I would have never went further with her. I can't believe that this has happened. And since then, I've never gotten remarried. I never hopped into any type of relationship. I just can't do it. Only thing I'd give you some advice on, before you hop in any relationship, make sure you know that person. And make sure, before you have kids with that person, that they don't have any skeletons in their closet. Because I also found out that apparently Gloria had a checkered past that I never knew nothing about. And now it all makes sense. I just hope there's some way I can get some closure. But I feel like I'm never going to get closure, even though they're both in jail. And to my beautiful daughters, may you guys rest in peace.